am back with a tutorial for, as I showed you in the last video, how to do double crochet. I'm going to do a project bag with this, and it is all double crochet or single crochet in other countries. And for this, I'll measure this for you to show you. This is a 12-inch. It's about measures 12.5 inches wide by about 2 3/4 inches, 2 3/4 that way and 12.5 that way. And this is PU leather. If you look really, I don't know if they can see really close, I can't hold it close enough, but it looks like two very thin pieces of leather on top of a plastic stuff inside. And when I smell it, it does smell like leather to me. So these two outside pieces must be leather, but the inside is like a plastic or a rubber. You can't see it very well on here, but when you're very close, there are three pieces, the two pieces of the leather and the stuff inside. But anyway, I bought this from Temu, and I think it cost me about, I can't remember the exact price, but I think it was just over £2 for one of these. If you buy a lot of them, I think you get them about £2. They work out a little bit cheaper. But to do this crochet bag, I'm using Chunky. This is some Mariners Chunky. I think it was Angela sent this to me. And to do these, you need 3 hooks to start with. You need the smallest one. I'll pick it up here. The smallest one, because you need a small one to get through the holes. And as you can see, these ones here won't go through the holes. It's too big. That's too big. So you have to have a small hook. So I have it's very hard to get the size to show up on here, but that's a 3.5mm hook. That is a 5.5mm hook. And the whole finished thing I'll be doing on an 8mm hook. So when you start with this, you have to have these, they're like little feet if you look on them. You want those facing you when you start it. If you start it on this side, you have those little feet inside the bag, because that will be the outside of the bag. So you have to have those little feet facing you. I'll put them down anyway. So we're starting off with just making a slip knot, which I showed you how to do in the last video. Just wrap around your finger and pull the wool through like that. You can start anywhere on the base. And just put your hook through one of the holes. And don't pull usually when you're doing crochet, you pull that tight, but you want a little bit looser to come through the hole. The reason you want it looser is because you want, as you can see, that is the length of from the hole up to the edge of the bag. So you need to have some space for that. And you just do it is a little bit awkward when you first start. I don't think I got through all the stitch there. That's it. And I put the wool tail end on the other side over the hook when I do that. That's to hide the hook, the long length that you start with. You go through the next hole and put your wool over the hook and bring it through. And make sure you bring the the stitch up level with the edge of the base. You go through the next stitch. Then come through your next stitch. And as you can see, I'm still coming up level with the base. That's so you don't get the stitch too tight, and it'll, if you don't have a big enough stitch, this line here will be down here somewhere. You want it on the edge of the bag. And I'm putting that, keep putting that little end in till it disappears. It is quite awkward when you first start these things because it is awkward to get your hand around like that, or you can with some soft wool which you can squash in your hand, but you can't with this. So you just have to persevere until you get to a stage where you've done a few rows and you can hold on to the so you have to keep on doing that into all the holes, and I think it'll be the last stitch for the end. Then as you can see, that end is covered by the stitches there. So now I'm going to just keep crocheting up in those holes until you get to this one here that's nearly in line with the little thing, and then I'll show you what to do with these ones around the edge. So now I'm up to the holes where you're on the curved part of the and I do a little bit different around there. The first one is just past the little feet, so I'm going to do twice into that one stitch there, that one hole. It might be a little bit difficult to get your hook through it second time. Sometimes I use 2 strands of chunky when I'm doing these as well, and so sometimes I start the base part off with just 1 strand and then join the other one in afterwards. Now we're going to do a single stitch into the next hole, and then 2 into the next hole, a little bit difficulty getting through. A single one into this one. So you're going every other one, you're putting 2 stitches into one hole, just around the curve. 2 into that one. Into the last one. The last one is before the little foot, like that one there. That's 1. 2. So that's all we're doing around the the curve. That's because as you go around the curve, if you just do the single stitches, you have to really stretch them from one hole to the other because of the curve. You've got a larger space between the holes when you actually do the stitches, so it's better to do what I've done. Every other one do a double stitch in. So the rest of it, we are just going to do the single stitches. Like that. Into that one like that. And I'll take that out. And that is what you do for the base. Just carry on exactly what you did on this side here. Carry on to the feet there. And once you come to the first hole after the feet, you do 2 into that one, 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on round. And then I will show you when I come round here how to join to the other piece. So I'm now on to the last hole, and I'm going to do that one double crochet into there. And now I'm going to join to this stitch here. You can get my hook through it. It's a bit hard, so I'm just going to go through the top bit. And then just make a slip knot through there. And when I do these bags, I usually just keep going round and round in a circle. I don't join, but I do join the very first row that I do, because it's much easier. If you have a join, you end up with a line where the join is. You cover, like, well, you can see a line that goes through it. So I prefer to go round and round and round, and then straighten it off when I finish on the last row. So I'm going to join for the first row. Just make 1 chain there, and now I'm going to change to the next hook because I don't need the small one anymore. But the 8mm is still a little bit big. I could probably get it through, but with a lot of force, so I'm going to use the 5.5 for the next row. And then just go into your, even this one's a little bit hard, but so you're just going to go all the way around with the 5.5. Just do double crochet or single crochet depending on which country you're in. Just do that 1 stitch all the way around the 1 double crochet. I will speak in English terms because I get mixed up if I keep talking about single crochets and double crochets. So I will be calling it double crochet, which is what everyone in the UK would say anyway. So I'm going to double crochet all the way around. When you come to the round bit there, you just go into each single stitch. You don't do any more double stitches. You're just doing the single stitches all the way around. So I will do a couple more stitches, and you have to try to hold when you're putting your your hook through. What I do is I put it through and I hold my fingers on the hook like that until I get the wool over it. Otherwise it is rather awkward. So just do your double crochet like that all the way around, and I will meet you when we come back to the start of this row again. So I have been all the way around, as you can see, just single stitches around there, because you only do those double stitches there on the first round. It's just because it makes the stitches too tight around there if you do single ones all the way around. But once you've got those double ones in there, that gives you the extra stitches on the round, and that's the only time you do double stitches. And I'm up to the joining point. Well, this is my last stitch there that I made, and this is where the chain, we made the chain from this stitch here, so we're going to join it there. If I can get the the hook through. We're going to join into that stitch, pull it through, slip the stitch, and that is the only time I do a join. From now on it's just going to be around and around. And I'm going to change to the 8mm hook now. It's very hard to see the size on here. Get too close, it goes blurry. So we're going to change to the 8mm hook, and this is what we'll be using for the rest of the bag now. So you just do what you were doing before, just go into every stitch. And it is getting a little bit awkward to you have to get your fingers behind the hook, as you have a larger stitch now. I'll pull some wool out. But once you've got a few rows done, you have something to hold on to like this when you're going round. But it's a bit awkward at first, but once you get past those first few rows, it gets easier. You see, I'm having trouble getting my hands behind the hook. And so that is all you do. You just keep going around and around. And I will do 1 or 2 more rows and then come back and show you how it's coming on. As you can see, I've done a few more rows, and it is getting easier because you've got something to hold on to on the side here, instead of having to hold it with your hand underneath, which, as you can see, your hand doesn't come far enough across now. But you have a little bit to hold on to now, which is a little bit easier. And I'm standing up doing this, so it's a little bit awkward for me. But it gets even easier as the bag gets further up. So that's what I'll be doing. But I'll be finishing soon, because I only crochet for no more than about 2 hours a day. I crochet in the morning. Otherwise I get trouble with my hands, my fingers and my wrists, and I would end up not being able to do any crochet at all. So only crochet for 2 hours. And I'm almost done what I'm doing today, but I'll still have about a half an hour before I get my lunch, so I'll be doing crocheting a little bit more, and I will come back tomorrow and show you a bit more. So give a thumbs up and subscribe, and bye for now.